What's going on, guys? TmarTn here, and welcome to the third day of Million Subscriber Week. So today, we're doing a new episode of @TmarTn. So this is a series I did a long time ago. I only did a couple of episodes of, but basically, it's just kind of like a Q&A video. You guys can tweet me questions you want me to answer, whether it be about gaming, or life, or me, or anything else, and then I'll answer them for you guys. So this should be pretty cool, and some of you guys might see your questions featured in the video. So I've got nearly 60 questions in this one, which is quite a few. So let's go ahead and get started. We've got quite a lot to get through. So first of all, the first question is from Jay Taylor, and he says, who is the first person you ever subscribed to on YouTube? Well, the first person that I ever subscribed to on YouTube in terms of gaming was FPS Kyle. I remember him running around on COD 4 doing these commentaries, and I don't even remember how I came across him, but he was the first person I ever watched, you know, and then through him, I found like Woody's Gamertag, Wings of Redemption, Hutch, you know, things like that. So Kyle was really the first person that introduced me to this whole YouTube community, and he was also the first person that really made me want to make a channel myself. I mean, it was just, he seemed like he was having a lot of fun. He was always upbeat. He was always happy, and he had, you know, this cool hobby that he was able to share with a bunch of people. So that kind of influenced me to start my channel, which is a little different. You know, most people found Hutch first or CNanners first or something like that, but no, mine was FPS Kyle. So next up, what was the initial reason for starting your channel? Well, I guess I already kind of answered that there. I wanted a way to share my hobby and my love of Call of Duty and of gaming in general with a bunch of people. You know, I saw Kyle, he was getting like 4,000 views a video, and I was just like, oh my gosh, like he's chilling with 4,000 people. He, you know, he can always have a full party and, you know, hang out with people and stuff. That's awesome. I want to be able to have that. I want to be able to have people that I can share this passion with. So that was pretty much it. And then another reason was because I did, you know, watch Woody and Wings and all them, and I slowly became a fanboy, and I wanted to meet them. So I think that's a lot of people's reason they wanted to meet some of the bigger YouTubers. Now, next up, we have a question from Jerome. He says, why is the second T in TmarTn a capital letter? It's like that in both your YouTube and your Twitter. Always wanted to know. Well, first of all, what TmarTn means, a lot of people always ask, even though it's kind of obvious. My name is Trevor Martin. So, you know, TmarTn is Trevor Martin, you know, shortened without the I at the end. And the reason why I capitalized the second T is just because it looks better. You know, I mean, look at TmarTn without the second capital, and then TmarTn with the second capital. The second one definitely looks a lot better. So I was just going off of pure kind of cosmetics when I chose that. So that's where that came from. Now, next up, Blitz asks, did you ever in a million years expect to have 1 million subscribers? Love your vids, man. Well, thank you, man. And to answer your question, no, I never thought I would have 1 million. I never even thought I would have 100,000. I just, like I said, I wanted to get, you know, maybe a couple thousand, you know, people watching my videos that I could play with on a consistent basis and have fun with and just, you know, kind of share this passion with. I never in a million years thought that 1 in 7,000 people on the face of this earth would be watching my videos. It's just, it's crazy, sir, incredible. I don't even know how to say it. So, yeah, it's a huge surprise to me. Thank you all for all of your support, and obviously you guys are the reason why I have been successful on YouTube. So, thank you all. It really, truly means a lot. Now, next up, did you ever think you would ever grow to be so popular? We just kind of answered that. And how has it changed your life, good or bad? Well, in terms of changing my life, it's completely turned my life around. So, as a lot of you guys know, I actually took a break from college. And I never in a million years thought I would do that. You know, I was always a very, very good student. I had a 4.0 GPA all throughout high school. I had a super high ACT score. I had a bunch of full ride scholarships to a ton of different, you know, huge colleges for academics. And, you know, I was all about the schooling. You know, that's just how I was raised, and I was kind of proud of myself and proud of my, you know, schooling and grades and things like that. And then this YouTube thing popped up, and I saw it as kind of once in a lifetime opportunity that I really wanted to focus on. So rather than going to one of these big colleges and living in a dorm and things like that where it would be pretty much impossible to do YouTube, I decided to go to a local community college, because that way it wouldn't be too strenuous, and then I would also be able to focus on YouTube. And I went for a semester, and then I had to drop out just because I was traveling too much. I had too many opportunities, and you know, schoolwork was getting in the way of making YouTube videos, which is it's so crazy to think about. and now a year later, I'm still doing pretty well. It's still kind of a full-time thing, and to think that something that's your hobby that you were doing for free and you never in a million years thought you would get paid for would turn into a full-time job, that's insane. It's just it's absolutely incredible. And again, I can't tell you guys how thankful I am. You guys have definitely changed my life for the better, and I hope that I can repay you guys by making entertaining content. Now, this next guy, Dooley HQ, says, how long do you think you'll be making YouTube videos for? And the answer to that is as long as I can, man. I hope this community and, this whole fad is around for a really long time. Even if I'm not getting paid for it, I'd still make videos. Obviously, I wouldn't be making as many. I wouldn't be trying to do daily and things like that because I'd have to have a real job. But even if, everything kind of fades and a lot of the advertisers leave and there's not a lot of, money in it or anything like that anymore, I would still be making videos because I enjoy it. It's a passion of mine. I love gaming. I love sharing it with you guys. There is nothing more satisfying than being able to put up a video and get thousands of people commenting and giving their opinions, or being able to send out a tweet and getting hundreds of responses. That's the most rewarding part of it, is the interaction with you guys, not the YouTube money. So yeah, I'll do YouTube for as long as I can. Hopefully it sticks around for quite a while. Drew Moglig asks, how does your family and your girlfriend support your choice of doing YouTube? I don't know, they want me to be happy. I mean, my mom has always been a super supportive person and whatever I do, and when I was playing games and trying to do this YouTube thing and first starting up, before it was a job or anything like that, she was just always like, you can do whatever you want to do, just make sure you get your homework done first. So as long as I had the other parts of my life taken care of and under control, and I was responsible in those aspects, she's going to support me whether I'm wanting to play sports or do YouTube or jump out of planes, whatever it is. She's definitely one of the best mothers that I could ever ask for. So thank you so much, Mom. And the same thing kind of goes for my family. They've always been supportive, and then kind of the same thing goes with my girlfriend. I mean, as long as I'm happy and enjoying myself and having a good time, she's happy for me. And as long as I make a little bit of time for her during the day, she's not going to mind if I'm playing a ton of video games. So that's pretty cool. And even sometimes she'll sit down and watch me, and she enjoys watching me make commentaries and things like that. So it's kind of cool that she kind of appreciates it and understands it, whereas I don't think a lot of girls would. So she's pretty awesome. Now, next up, Harold of Woodley asks, what would you do if they stopped making Call of Duty? Would you switch your content up or post to your second channel? Well, I don't really foresee them changing Call of Duty or stopping Call of Duty for a really long time, but if they did, I mean, first of all, I would probably put a little bit more focus into my second channel. It's my Let's Play channel, TmarTn 2. I really have a lot of fun with that channel, and it's fun to play all types of different games. I'm a true gamer at heart. I don't only like Call of Duty. I like everything, even though Call of Duty is my favorite. So I would definitely do more Let's Plays and things like that. And then also I would switch it up on TmarTn. It's not saying that I would leave TmarTn in the background. I'd do new stuff. I might do more in real life stuff, or I might try to switch to like Halo or whatever other big game was out at that point in time. But yeah, I would definitely adapt, even though I don't see COD going anywhere in a long time. Now, next up, Griffin Richards asks, what's your favorite part of YouTube? And I think I already answered that earlier in this video. It was the interaction with you guys. It's just like I said, it's so cool to be able to talk with so many people at once. Like, I always say that the day that I tweet out and I don't get a bunch of responses is the day that I'm gonna like shoot myself, because it's just I sometimes like take advantage of it, or not necessarily take advantage of it, but don't really see how valuable that is to me, and how much that means to me. But when I really think about it, I think about how lonely I'm gonna feel when I don't have hundreds of people to talk to and interact with and joke around with and stuff. Like Twitter and comments and messages and things like that. It's just interacting with all of you guys is definitely the coolest part, and it's the one part that I'm gonna miss when all of this is done. So I'm starting to get sad thinking about it. Let's move on. Okay, so Jamie asks, is it hard making YouTube videos while you're traveling constantly? Yes. In fact, I think this is probably one of the worst things about YouTube, because there are always all these different events going on that I want to be at, like E3 or PAX or EA events or Activision events, things like that. And you obviously have to travel. travel to them. I mean, a lot are in LA, but a lot are kind of all over the place. PAX is in Boston and Seattle, and it sucks because when you're traveling, you can't really make videos. Like, yeah, I can try to put together a vlog, or I can try to get a little bit ahead on videos before I leave, but it's not the same. You know, I can't sit down in the afternoon and upload and make videos and do everything I want to do. You really get behind on your channel when you're traveling, and there's points in time where I'm like traveling, I come back home for 2 days, and then I travel again, then come back home for a week, and then travel again, and it's rough because it's hard to stay consistent. I like to keep consistent videos up for you guys, you know, one at least every 2 days, but lately I've been trying to do one a day, which I've really been enjoying. And when you're traveling, you can't do that. So I hate being inconsistent for you guys, and it just, you know, traveling just kind of messes up the swing of things, the momentum that you get going. So, yeah, I hate it. Now, next up, Muhammad Adel asks, other than COD games, what's your favorite game? This is really tough. I really like the Assassin's Creed series. That's definitely one of my favorites. I also really like Splinter Cell, and I can't wait for Splinter Cell Blacklist later this year. I'm trying to think of other games. Kind of some throwbacks. I really liked Crash Bandicoot. I also really like Spyro the Dragon. You know, those are both pretty good. And then also Pokemon was a definite staple of my childhood. So those are some of my favorite games. I also have a lot of others, as you guys would imagine. But if I was to choose one kind of series of a current generation game, I'd probably say Assassin's Creed. So yeah. Now next up, this guy asks, Dux asks, what is going on with you and GamerShore? So a lot of people are asking about this. So I'm still in GamerShore. I still love the crap out of those guys. We're still planning on making videos together. We still plan on doing things together. It's just I'm no longer living in the house. I moved back home to Illinois for a bunch of different reasons. One is just because I missed home, missed friends, missed family, missed the girlfriend, things like that. I also got a really cool opportunity to become a landlord back home. You know, it's a college town, so there's a lot of opportunities for people that want to rent property, and I kind of started investing in real estate through a mentor that's been in town for a while, and I definitely wanted to take advantage of that opportunity because it's kind of like my backup plan, my fallback plan. You know, after YouTube is done and I can't do this as a full-time job anymore, I'm obviously going to need to do something else, and I'm kind of looking at, you know, being a landlord and real estate investing as one of those options. So I was able to kind of set up a little bit of a future for myself by moving back, and overall just I had a lot going on back home, so I wanted to be there. So that's why I moved. And the next question is kind of a follow-up. Yoom TV Rap says, do you feel there's any bad blood among the group? And no, not at all. Like I said, I moved just because I had a lot going on back home. It's not because I had any problems with any of those guys. I love them to death. They love me. We're still planning on doing stuff together, even though I may not be in the house full time, even though I am there all the time. It doesn't matter. You know, I'm always going to be back in LA a lot. So yeah, that is what happened. So anyway, moving on. Seymour HD says, how much did you game in your childhood? A lot. I played so many video games in my childhood. It was really embarrassing. You know, like I kind of said in my looking back or recap video, I played a lot of PS1, PS2, and GameCube, mostly sports games. I would sit there and play them all day long. In fact, when I was a little kid, I would set up my GameCube with Madden, and I would have the Vikings, which is my favorite football team, play like the Packers or the Bears, or, you know, one of their big rivalry matches, and I'd have the computers play each other, and then I would sit there and play Legos while I watched the video game. You know, I wouldn't even be playing the video game, I'd just be watching it. That's how much I loved video games. So yeah, that was pretty cool. And then, you know, as it progressed, I just kept playing more and more. Like I said, Pokemon I would play for like 12 hours a day on the GameCube, and then, you know, now I'm playing a ton of Call of Duty. So I've always played a lot of video games. They've always been there for me. Even when I'm down or sad or not having a good day, video games will always cheer you up. So that's why I love them. And they're an awesome way to let out stress and anger and you know, just kind of get away from the world for a couple of hours. So I love gaming. Now, next up, Alexander asks, what was your first game? Well, if you want to count this one, my first one was like this Math Blaster game. I don't remember what it was called, but it was a computer game. It was kind of space themed, and it was meant to help teach you math. My first ever like video game that I personally owned, I played a Super Nintendo at my grandparents' house, but the first one that I owned and played a lot was like Madden 95 or 96 on the PS1, or, you know, something around there. A really old Madden. That would have been my my first one. So yeah. Now, next up, Lewis asks, what was your first console ever? I believe it was the PS1. It was either the PS1 or the GameCube. Like I said, I played a Super Nintendo at my grandparents' house. I never had one of those of my own or an N64 or anything like that. So it was either PS1 or GameCube, whichever one of those came first. I don't remember what the order was there. I think it was PS1 first. But anyway, moving on. Keenan asks, has anything changed in your setup? And if it has, will there be a new setup video? Currently my office is a complete mess, as you guys saw in the day in the life video the other day. But also, on top of that, I don't know where I'm going to end up, because my mom is actually selling our house, the one that I grew up in and, spent like 12 years in, which is kind of sad. But yeah, so I don't know where I'm going to end up, because she's getting a condo on a golf course, and it's awesome for her. She's going to have a lot of fun with that, but I don't want to go just because it's going to be a bunch of old people, and I don't, I won't be able to make videos and be able to scream and curse and, do my thing, like in Let's Plays and things like that, and in a condo with shared walls and things like that. So, I don't know where I'm going to end up. I got to figure out where I'm going to live, and then after that's figured out, I'll probably figure out my setup. That'll be the second order of business, and once that's done, then I will bring you guys a new setup video. So, yeah, I will bring you guys a new setup video as soon as I figure out what in the world is going on in my life. So, we will do that. Now, next one, Gyro27 Pena asks, are you going to bring back the 101 series for COD Ghosts? Well, this is something that I've been thinking about. It's just, for whatever reason, I decided to change the branding. I had Modern Warfare 2 101, Black Ops 101, and then Modern Warfare 3, I decided to just do Modern Warfare 3 tips and tricks. I decided to take the 101 off, and I'm not sure why I did that. I kind of regret it. And then recently in Black Ops 2, I also stuck with the tips and tricks, just because that's what I did last year. So I can't figure out if I want to call my tips and tricks series, should I call it COD Ghosts 101 or Ghosts 101 or something like that, or should I call it Ghost Tips and Tricks? What do you guys think? Leave a comment down below, and I guess I'll let you guys choose, because you guys are gonna be the ones that are watching the videos. So let's get that figured out now. Next up is Alexander Lebedes, and he asks, why are you a fanboy of the Xbox and COD? Well, honestly, I'm not a fanboy of the Xbox. I absolutely love both systems, and as I said in my childhood, I grew up playing PS1 and PS2. PS2 is probably, one of my favorite gaming systems, just because that's when I first truly got into gaming. But yeah, I play the Xbox more because I have friends on it. That's what I always tell people to do. When people ask me, should I get the Xbox 360 or the PS3, or should I get the Xbox One or the PS4, I just say, go with the ones your friends are going to have, because they're both going to be good consoles. They're both going to, serve the same purpose. It doesn't matter what the system menus look like and, the other different stuff in them. You're playing the games most of the time. You aren't looking at the menus. So, both of them do pretty much the exact same thing. Go with the ones that you're going to have more fun on via your friends. So, I love both Xbox and PS3. I'm really excited for both of the new consoles. I'm going to be getting them both. And I'm definitely going to be giving both of them a fair shot as to being my favorite. But I will probably be on the Xbox just because I know more of my friends will have it. So that's where that comes from. And why am I a fanboy of COD? Technically, I guess I consider myself a fanboy of COD just because it's my absolute favorite game of all time. It's one of the best games of all time, and really no other first-person shooter can even come close to comparing to it in terms of just the smoothness and the low latency and the controls and, just the ranking up and unlocking system and the way you get addicted to it. No other game can compare to that. But at the same time, it's not like I only play Call of Duty. I've got a second channel that I play all types of different games on, and I like to play all different types of other first-person shooters. You guys see me post Battlefield from time to time. You guys see me post Halo from time to time. You guys see me post Loadout on the PC from time to time. I like playing video games in general. Just because Call of Duty is my favorite doesn't mean I don't play other games. So, there's to answer your question, asshole. Now, next up, UBXHD asks, who are you rooting for this year, PS4 or Xbox One? Well, I guess I kind of answered that one there. I really, I'm happy for both of the consoles. They both look awesome. I'm going to be getting them both. But I'm probably going to be playing the Xbox more, just simply because my friends are on it. But I'm definitely going to have both. I'm definitely going to play both. And they're definitely both going to be absolutely amazing. I cannot wait for the next decade of gaming. Next up, 360 Nation asks, are you getting the Xbox One? You're amazing. Already answered that, buddy. I don't know why I kept this one in here. Now, next up, Nathan asks, favorite or least favorite part about both consoles? This is really, really tough. Xbox, I would probably say, I don't like the having to connect to the internet feature. You know, we still don't exactly know how that works. Apparently, you've got to be able to connect to the internet once every 24 hours or something like that. And even though that's not going to affect me, I know that's going to hurt Xbox. And in general, you know, I know that it's not going to be good for a lot of people out there that are in rural areas that don't have good internet and can't really do that. So I really don't know what they were thinking there. I feel like they're kind of alienating a lot of their customers, which is not good. And as for the PS4, I don't know. Part of me wants to say the controller, even though there are a lot of diehard fans out there that love the controller, but the PS4 controller doesn't fit my hands. I'm a 6'4" tall guy with huge fingers, and I feel like I'm holding a little, like, rinky-dink, like, mock toy thing when I'm holding the controller. It doesn't fit my hands well, and after playing for a while, I get like bad cramps in my fingers, and they start to hurt. So that's probably one of my least favorite things about the PS4, but that's not really a legitimate complaint because it's not like they're going to change the controller that they've had for a bunch of years. It's my problem that I have too big of hands, so maybe I should work on some like hand shrinking exercises, and we might be good to go. Now, next up, the Mr. HD Parks asks, what are your opinions on paid subscriptions? So he's talking about YouTube. There's the new paid subscriptions feature where you can pay like $2 or $3 a month to subscribe to your YouTuber that you like, and there's only like 50 or 60 channels that are currently doing this. And honestly, I think it's cool. It's not something that I'm ever going to enable on my channel. It's not something that I don't think will ever even be an option for me to enable, or anybody else in this gaming community. But for kind of more high effort productions and things like the NFL or UFC and things like that, I think it's a pretty cool new way to kind of get your media fix. It's kind of like Netflix. Netflix, $8 a month, you get all the stuff. For a couple bucks a month, you can get a bunch of cool videos from whatever you want to watch. So I think it's a good thing. More is always better, or usually better. And it's not like this stuff would be available without it. So as long as we have more content to view, why not? Next up, Muhammad Al-Amari asks, what headset do you use or recommend? Thanks, by the way, love your videos, man. Cheers. Thanks, Muhammad. And what headset that I use is the Astro A40. So as you guys know, I've been an Astro fanboy for a long time. I've been using their products for forever, and I live and die by their headset, as do a lot of YouTubers and pro players and things like that. So Astros are definitely my favorite way to go. I've got a link down in the description if you guys want to check that out. And then also that kind of brings up the point that in the Xbox 720, it doesn't have that little, 2.5mm jack in the bottom of the controller that you can plug your headset into. So I'm curious as to how that's going to work. I'm curious if Astros just plain out won't work anymore. I'm curious if they're going to be able to adapt and make a new headset that works with the Xbox One. But yeah, I'm kind of curious to see how the whole headset market changes with the release of these new consoles. Maybe there'll be a new top dog. We'll have to wait and see. Next up, Jeremy asks, when are you getting the Muffin Top sponsorship? So if you guys don't know about this, I was actually on Twitter the other day talking about cereal. And actually, I put my milk in the bowl first and then put the cereal in on top. And apparently that's really weird. Apparently everybody else does it the other way around. That's the way I've done it my whole life. That's the way I like it. So I was just telling people I'm going to eat my Cap'n Crunch however I want. Screw you guys. And then Drifter told me that I had to check out Muffin Tops. So apparently it's a really generic cereal that comes in the bag. It's in the bag section of the aisle. But apparently it's one of the best cereals on the planet. And a lot of people agreed with him. So I still have yet to try those, but I'm definitely going to. And Muffin Tops, if one of your, advisors or marketing directors are out there, I just gave you guys a pretty big shout out. I'm sure Muffin Top's going to be sold out worldwide in grocery stores now. So if you guys want to kind of throw a little bit my way, give me that Muffin Top sponsorship. That'll be much appreciated. So anyway, moving on to the next question. This one comes from Ben. He asks, how was the growth of your channel? Slow and steady or one big boost? And this is a question that a lot of people have, especially a lot of aspiring YouTubers. And I see a lot of people that want to get into YouTube that are like, I've been posting videos for one entire month and I still don't have that many subscribers. I've only got 100 subscribers. I need you to give me a shout out. This is BS. Dude, this is a slow and steady game. I mean, I was on YouTube for like 4 months before I even got 1,000 subscribers, and it is a grind. So if you really want to get into this, you can't feel entitled to grow quickly. It is such a slow process. It's getting a YouTube channel to kind of, get a little bit bigger is almost like pushing a train. So if you have a train on a track that's very heavy, it's nearly impossible to get going, and you can spend weeks and months pushing this train, trying to get it going. But once you get that train going and it starts rolling a little bit, it slowly becomes easier. You don't have to push as much, and it starts going faster and faster and faster. It's all about that momentum. So think about your channel. If you're wanting to get your channel out there, think about it as a train. You got to put in that work and that, just tough grinding it out right at the start. And once you build up that momentum and more people start seeing you, more and more people start seeing you, it's all exponential. Then you'll start growing faster with a little bit less work. So the initial part of it is definitely a grind, and that's where most people quit, because they decide they don't want to put that much work into it. They don't want it that bad. So yeah, it's definitely a grind at the start, but once you get it going, then it becomes a little bit more rewarding. So, whoa, let's pause it there, guys. That's 25 minutes of questions that I answered, and we got about another 20 to 25 minutes to go. So I figured I would split this up into 2 parts. Part 2 will be out tomorrow. I didn't want to bore you with the super long videos. So this part was more of gaming related topics, and tomorrow we have a few gaming related questions left, but then we start getting into more personal questions and some other cool stuff. So anyway, hope you guys check back tomorrow for part 2, and in the meantime, check out one of the other 2 videos on the screen if you haven't seen them yet. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace out.